Howdy, howdy, folks. If you're coming here straight from episode 1, welcome to episode 2, where I'm going to show you how to get this DK6 Earthworks drum mic kit. All the mics on the drums, and then the connections from the drums to my interface and my DAW, and then how to get the channel set up in the DAW so we can get recording, right? Let's get recording. I'm going to start with a kick drum mic. Get that nice and tight on there. And now we're going to want the edge of the microphone. At least there's a lot of ways to mic drums. This is just the way that I prefer to do it as a good starting point. Always trust your ears. And where the front of the microphone capsule is to have flush with the drum. So not inside it, not outside of it, just right to where the opening is. That's a great starting point for a kick drum mic. Let's move on to the toms. All right, so remember, we got 3 DM17s, which is gonna cover our rack tom, floor tom, and snare. These are real easy, just rim mounts. Put the one lip right over the rim. Buckle her down, can make adjustments here. Let's just start with all the way back. And then when we do kind of a sound check through the DAW, we can tweak from there. Let's just get mics on the kit. Then we're gonna work our way over to the floor tom. All right, same deal with the floor tom. Just a rim mount, easy to screw on. Now think about, if you're a drummer yourself and you're micing your own kit, what's great about this one is that, you know, some of those mounts where the bolts are down here, if you're the drummer on this side of it, you can easily set this up yourself with the screw being easily accessible to it. Love that feature. All right, let's move our way to the snare. All right, now the snare, same deal, rim mounted, nice and secure. Let's start with it all the way. The position of the mic, as you can see here, can move it up and down, but let's start them with all the way back and tweak from there. All right, now we got the overheads. Spin that on, lock her down. Second overhead. I like to loosen up the extension bar and then do it that way so you're not tearing your wrist up. All right, now a little tip with overheads. We gotta talk about phasing issues when it comes to overheads. I like to take the snare as the baseline. This is a starting point. Always trust your ears. Always trust your ears. But a starting point, take a line from the snare up to one overhead, and then a line from the snare to the other overhead, and try to make them as equal distance as possible. We're trying to mitigate some phasing issues. And I'll explain that a little bit more when we get into the DAW and I get tracks designated to each one of these microphones, and we can talk about it. All right, now we got mics in rough placement. Let's hook them up, XLR cables. Let me show you how I attach it to my snake and at the DAW, etc. And this might seem like a lot. If you're already getting overwhelmed, don't be. This is just a starting point. There's these mics and this kit, the clips are already on them. You just take your time. Just put them on your drums, get cables on them, trust your ears. It's the fun part. Come on. So we got a 6 mic setup. I'm gonna do kick, snare, rack tom, floor tom, overhead left, overhead right. And then these corresponding inputs are the same ones that corresponding inputs into the back of my UAD interface here. If you don't have a snake, then just go directly in to your inputs on whatever interface you have, and those corresponding inputs are gonna be the ones that show up in your DAW, however you have it designed and linked and all that stuff. I know everybody likes to tweak and have their own kind of setup. All right, so we got all 6 mics going into the snake. My snake goes into my UAD interface. UAD interface goes into Pro Tools. So let's pull up some new tracks. First, we're gonna do Shift Command N. We're gonna pull up 6 new recording tracks. Bang, let's do a little color coordination here. Let's get them red today. All right, so we got 6 new mic tracks, mono tracks, and because they're mono mics. And we're gonna start with a kick, and we're gonna corresponding inputs to your recording tracks here. So we're gonna do on channel 2, which was our kick, channel 3, which is going to be the snare, channel 4, rack tom, floor tom, overhead left, overhead right. So now we've got all of our channels set up in here, and you can see on the UAD console up here on the top right, we got to get our gain level set. So this is where we're going to bring in my good friend Mr. Drew Massey and get some drum sounds here, get our gain level set, and then do a little bit of tracking.